All right, we are live with my good friend John Tsai. How's it going, John?
Phenomenal, man. Thank you. How are you doing?
Awesome, awesome. Despite of all this craziness going on with the coronavirus, man, things are good. I think this is a big opportunity for our company, and
Huge.
I'm excited to have you on because I look at you as one of the top agent attractors who really is succeeding at a high level. Relatively speaking, you're newer with the company, and you're just crushing it, man. So I'm excited to hear
Yeah.
a little more about your story. So if you could give the audience a brief synopsis of how long you've been in real estate and why you decided to join eXp and when that was.
Okay, great. So, real fast. I've been in real estate for 14 years total, and I sell real estate out of the greater Vancouver area in Canada. And on average, in the last a few years, we've been doing about 128 transactions as an average. I have a small team, and I'm growing that right now. And the goal this year is to hit 150 sales. And so a couple of years ago, when I was, grinding, 130, 140 deals for 3 years in a row, and I was thinking, man, I'm burnt out, right? And I'm more of a Mike Ferry guy, so it's all about grinding. It's not a team leader style; it's rainmaker. So out of the 140, 130 deals, I was doing 95% of it. Okay, so at that point, I got a little tired, and then I asked my broker. I said, "Hey, you know what? I wanted to go to the next level in my life, the next phase in my life." My wife was then pregnant, so I said, "Okay, I wanted to be able to leverage a little bit and stay home with my child, and I would love to create another source of income." Right? So I said, "Hey, would you be willing to give me a franchise or give me some equity in the company so I can grow the brokerage for you? We can grow to 1,000 agents. I promise you, I could do that. I know I could do that, right?" And short answer was no. Right? He's a boutique company, very big name in the city. Rennie and Associates, a lot of respect for them, still love them. Just the structure didn't work for me anymore. So I said, okay, if he said no, I said, well, I'm going to go ahead and start my own brokerage. I just want to be very upfront with you. And I talked to my partner. We were going to start a Remax brokerage. Okay. So we had been in talks for about a year, and it was going to cost us a total of $500,000 just to start up. Okay. And then we got another couple partners, so 4 total, and it was 125,000, which I didn't have in cash. And I said, no problem. I'll go get a loan. Let's go. Let's do this. And June 2018, he came back. This is after probably about a year of conversation and prepping. He said, you know what, before we go ahead with this, check this out. Check this company called eXp out. I'm like, what is this, right? And he's like, well, you're looking for residual income, right? You're looking for equity in the company. You're looking for a lead generation platform that can actually feed your agents so that you can have a little bit more leverage, right? I said, yeah. I said, well, with this company, you actually don't have to go and start a franchise, don't have to start a brokerage, don't have to hire all the staff, all the managing brokers, right? On the back end. I said, no way, what is this? Right? So he had, so his name is Bill Layler, forever grateful. He actually didn't join eXp at the end, which is funny now. So he had me talk to Haas Pratt, and Haas gave me a synopsis, a rundown, and then we talked. I was like, this is too good to be true. What do you mean? So I get residual income by simply talking to agents, sharing the opportunity every day. Simply by selling real estate, I can have equity in the company, right? And then I can have the lead generation platform, which I was paying for, $1,500 a month and another $500 for ad spend. Now I get to have the platform for free. What's the catch, right? So I went ahead and actually thought it was too good to be true. I talked to Gene Frederick. I talked to Rob Flick. I talked to Brent Go. I talked to, who else? Chris Bear. And after 4 months of research, I was one of those guys. And, it ticked all the boxes. So I joined. It ticked all the boxes of why I wanted to start a real estate brokerage without having the big upfront cost. And it was, instead of $125,000, I spent $199 to get started, right? And never look back. Now it's about 14, 15, almost 16 months into eXp, and I've never enjoyed myself as much as this. Even with this whole thing going on, the culture, the love and encouragement from the group, and I get to hear from legends like yourself. We get connected all the time, getting ideas from each other. I get to learn from people like Frank Gove, who have 7,000 people in his group and still sells 300 homes with his team.
Mm-hmm.
Like, these are the guys that are mentoring me, and there's no way I could have gotten that before. So, I mean, life has never been better. It's never been the same. And I'm just enjoying the ride, enjoying the journey right now, man. Thank you for letting me share.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks for sharing that. So is Haas Pratt your sponsor then, or who's your sponsor?
Actually, Steve Merritt out of Illinois, and Chris Bear was the one that met him at a multifamily seminar, and they met there. So he sponsored him, and then Steve, at the same time I found out about eXp, he found out about it.
Yeah.
So then when Bill said no to eXp, I said, okay, well, Steve, you're my guy.
That's awesome. Yeah, I knew you were under Chris Bear. I just wasn't sure how that worked out. And I know Steve too. So that's really cool. See, guys, networking at events is not dead. It's super powerful because you can not only learn by going, but also meet agents. I mean, Chris Bear, if you guys don't know Chris Bear, he's the vice president of U.S. expansion. He's down in Florida. I know he recently did some events for us in Charlotte. I mean, he was at a multifamily, met Steve Merritt, who sponsored this rock star, John. And John, you've only been with the company 16 months. Tell us, how many agents have you sponsored and how big's your group?
So personally, I've sponsored 32 agents in my front line. And I have a total group right now of 204 agents.
That's awesome. And that's what I teach, 2 a month. You obviously got excited about this opportunity. So you've sponsored basically 2 a month. So share with us, like, kind of what were your initial goals? What were your expectations when you started with the agent attraction? Are you on track? Did you even have a goal around it?
Oh, thanks for asking. My first year, my goal was to hit 300, and I didn't hit that. And I'm not mad about right now, even where I am at 200. I'm not mad about that. And it's definitely as hard as I thought it would be, to be honest with you. And it's every day I'm just doing my action. Right, so I'm talking to 2 a day, I'm talking to 10 a week, and then 40 a month. And my ratios right now, as it stands, it's sitting at 16 and a half agents that I talk to, I sponsor 1. So I've spoken to 500 some agents.
Wow, that's awesome. I was excited to have you on because, being a Mike Ferry trained agent, I knew that you would know your numbers, and that's exciting. My first real estate coach was Mike Ferry too, so I can relate to knowing your numbers. So guys, if you didn't hear that, every 16 and a half agents that John's speaking to, he's sponsoring an agent. Now that's powerful. So, I mean, that's a lot of agents. I'm sure some people are thinking, well, I don't know that many agents. How can I talk to 40 a month? Are these mostly, out of the 500, do you know them all, or how are you finding different sources to actually talk to more agents?
Yeah, so Instagram, LinkedIn, right? Instagram, people would just connect with me online, and people they're probably on a bot or something like that, and then they follow me, but I hit them up, right? So I hit them back and I say, hey, how you doing? Thanks for connecting. And has anybody else shared with you about eXp yet? Right? And they're like, no, I don't know what it is, or like, somebody has. Okay, no problem. Right? So, would you be willing to jump on a call with me to talk about it? Right? And some people say no, some people say yes. Right? And then it's next.
Yep, exactly. Next. I love that. So you're messaging these people who are following you on Instagram. So it's still a warm contact. It's not like you're, spamming people through email or through text message. These are people who are connecting with you on social media. I always say it's called social media. So you're supposed to be social, not just, make these connections and never reach out. So I love how you're doing that. I know a lot of agents waste a lot of time in the initial phases just building rapport, and they're afraid to actually ask the question, hey, have you heard of eXp? Or, hey, I'm sure you've already heard about eXp. What are your thoughts? Popping the big question. How much time? Yeah. How much time do you spend between initial contact on say Instagram, for example, and then actually asking them, hey, have you heard of eXp?
When they first connect with me, I would say, thanks for connecting with me. Let's stay in touch. I'm here in Vancouver, Canada. And if you have anybody that's looking to buy or sell here, I'd be happy to be your resource here. And then I'll probably hit them up a week or two down the road. I'll comment on their IG story or whatever. And then I'll say, hey, you know what? Actually, been meaning to ask. Has anybody else shared with you about eXp yet? That's on Instagram. And then I have a virtual assistant that does the same thing on LinkedIn. So they just connect, and then they have a generic message, and then just setting up a call. And then when I call them, I get right into it.
Yep.
Hey, thanks for agreeing to have the conversation with me. Wanted to reach out. I'm looking for motivated and committed realtors to collaborate with. Wondering, has anybody else shared with you about eXp yet? Yes or no? And then we go from there.
So that sounds like a script to me. I would imagine you didn't just make that up on the fly.
I did at first, and then now I'm finding out that's my script. That's
right. Yeah, exactly. I love that. That's powerful. So I think the biggest thing that agents can take away from this conversation is that this isn't rocket science. What you've done, from what I can see, is you've taken consistent, committed action since you joined the company. You said I talked to 2 a day, 10 a week, 40 a month. Would you say, because I follow you on Instagram, I see your Insta stories, you're always posting your tracking sheets for your prospecting calls, which I love. And do you have a similar sheet for your agent attraction? How do you organize that?
Oh my gosh, I'm like a tech challenge. I'm not going to call myself any bad name, but tech challenge. So I have my notes, like this is my iPhone notes, and literally I have just like this. And then some people, the Reach app.
Yep.
Yeah, so I put all my eXp leads into the Reach app, and then if I have something important or something good to share with them, I'll have one message, and it blasts out to all the people that have shown some interest, that want to be in touch with me. I put them in Reach, and then I just follow up.
Love it. Right. Love it. So if you guys don't know, Reach is an app for your phone where you can have all your contacts loaded up, all your leads, and you can actually just have one message that goes out to like 100 people in a matter of minutes. It populates the message with that person's name, and it sends off the text.
Apologize, sorry.
Yeah, you're good. We're all dealing with working from home right now, so totally get it. So the text message is actually coming from you. It's a one-on-one text message, but the app just helps you get them out a whole lot faster. So super cool app. Highly recommend it, whether it's for your real estate business or agent attraction. So with the Reach app, another spot I see agents kind of get stuck in the agent attraction process is after the initial contact. Maybe they watch the video presentation, they have a great conversation, but they don't know what to do after. So you said, when I have something good to say. So like, what are you thinking of to send out to these prospects through the Reach app? What is it, like good news? Like what are you doing there?
Actually, we have a weekly training that we do on Zoom as well for our immediate group. And, I think for some trainings, I think it's when it applies. Like yesterday, I spoke on, what to do in this market. Like anybody can benefit from that. So I just sent in the link. Hey, you know what? Join us and, get some value from here. I know you're home. Like I know you're home right now, right? So just click in. It's half an hour. You can get some value. And, if nothing, you'll get some education, and you'll feel the culture, right? And then if they're further interested, we can talk. A lot of people have said no to me and then come back to me couple months later and said, hey, I'm ready. Right? So I just keep providing value, keep loving on them. If I don't really send out, good news like our stock just hit this, or we just hit this many agents. More so value for them.
Yep. Love it. Yeah. I love that. That's huge, guys. And we can all be doing things to add value as opposed to just hitting them with, hey, did you see this top team that just joined us? That stuff's cool sometimes, but I love how you're adding value. If you guys haven't seen the announcement yet, eXp is coming out with a training passport. It's going to be an extended guest pass, basically, to give agents who are not with eXp complete access to all of our training at eXp. This would be a great thing if you're not at the level that John's at, where he can actually lead trainings because he's an experienced, he's a top agent. Maybe you're a new agent. Leverage other people's trainings. Leverage this training, this passport coming out. And if you see a training, maybe it's, farming for dollars, or maybe it's, how to do a listing presentation, whatever it is, say, hey, we're actually doing a presentation on listings, or we're doing training on listing presentations. If you want to check it out, I can get you a free training pass, explain what it is briefly, and then fire that off to every single person that you might have spoken to about eXp at some point. Cool, man. This is awesome. This is tangible advice. If you guys, there's a lot of people live right now in the group. If you have questions, we're going to do a little Q&A at the end. So make sure you get your questions in the comments section. That'd be awesome. So, do you have a workflow on, you're talking to 2 a day. These 2 a day, are these messages or actually calls?
They could be both.
Okay.
They could be both. Some of them, if I get into a conversation about eXp, I'll count that as a contact for an agent contact.
Okay, perfect.
Right? I'm saying, hey, what's up on Instagram or Facebook? Hey, what's up? No, that's not it. It's like, I'm talking, hey, right now I'm looking for committed and motivated realtors to collaborate with.
Perfect.
And you would be a person that I really, congratulate you on your production. I just wanted to be able to have a conversation with you about eXp. Then boom, that counts. Because then they'll either give me a super brutal rejection, or they'll say, yeah, I'm open to a conversation. Then that counts.
Love it. Love it. So you got to pop the question for it to count as a contact.
Exactly. And then ultimately is to get them on the phone. And ultimately, if they're from out of the area, then I would, so pre-coronavirus, I would, if they're in the area, I would invite them to an in-person lunch and learn. But now it's all through Zoom call. We have a Friday, 11 a.m. for half an hour eXp Explain over Zoom. And we have done that every single week for the past, I started that. So for the past 16 months, every single week, I just invite them to that. And then after that, if they'll either see the opportunity or they won't.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they'll tell me.
Yep. Awesome. Cool. So I would imagine that a lot of the agents that you're speaking to through your different strategies have already heard of eXp. And I think people listening to this, watching this, will be surprised at the actual percentage, surprised in a good way. Based on your experience, if you talk to 10 people, whether it's through message, through phone call, how many say, yes, I've already heard about it? How many?
I was 8 out of 10 for sure.
8 out of 10 have heard about it? Yeah. Cool. Do you find that people on Instagram have heard about it more than, say, LinkedIn? Or do you really track that?
Just off the top of my head, I think, yes, Instagram more so than LinkedIn.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's kind of been my experience too.
Yeah. LinkedIn calls, especially out of the area. Right now, I'm kind of reaching out of the area into Spokane and Washington State, which is close to me. And I was surprised, to be honest. I've never heard of eXp. Like, what?
Yeah.
Right? But rare in actually where I am locally.
Yep. Yeah, it's definitely going to be like different pockets that you're prospecting into. And so say an agent is like, yeah, I've heard about it. What do you say to them after that? Because I think that stops a lot of people in their tracks.
Okay. Well, I would ask them, yeah, that's great. It's out there and we're growing super fast. So let me ask you, how much do you know about it?
Yeah. And they might say, oh, well, my friend told me about it a few months ago. And you can tell from the tone of my voice, I probably don't know a lot about it.
Yeah, exactly. And then I would say, okay, great. So your friend has shown you, that's fantastic. And did you see the full rundown of eXp Explain, or they just kind of talk to you about it?
Yeah, they just kind of asked me if I heard about it. And, I see signs around the yard. So.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, great. So with that being said, would you be open to a more in-depth conversation about eXp as an opportunity for yourself?
Perfect. Awesome. We can stop there with it. That's cool,
Yeah.
guys. So what I want you to take out of that is once they say, yes, I've heard about it. The second question is, oh, really? That's awesome. So your friend mentioned it too. Well, just out of curiosity, have you seen the full presentation? Have you seen the full rundown? It's very simple. I just know that a lot of people right now are not taking action because they're afraid of what to say. And, we're talking to John, who's sponsored 32 agents in 16 months, has a group over 200, which, if you're breaking that down into earnings per year, it's a 6-figure a year income through residual income. That's powerful. And you're using very simple scripts that everyone can use, very simple strategies. What you're superhuman at is consistency. And I want people to get that. And some tips on how to stay consistent, that I have, and I'd love to hear your thoughts, John, is get an accountability partner, but also put something on the line. What that could look like if you get an accountability partner is if you don't make your 10 contacts for the week, is you owe your accountability partner $50. Or it goes to a charity that you don't agree with. Maybe you send $50 to, I think most people love animals. Maybe you send $50 to a kill shelter. If you're, being incentivized by trying to avoid pain, because human psychology, we're all trying to avoid pain, you're going to stick to your commitments. The problem is people are not keeping promises that they're making to themselves. That's why they're not consistent. What have you done to be so consistent with, your prospecting for real estate clients? Because I see you making your 30 to 40 contacts every day. You're making 10 contacts for real estate agents a week. I mean, you're making a lot of contacts. You're working hard. You got a new daughter. Like, are you just always been consistent, or is there something that kind of like clicked for you that got you into a consistent flow in your life?
Great question, AJ. And I think a lot of people can relate to this is that, in the first day you could do your contacts. Second day, you're like, okay, well, my goal was 15 contacts. Second day, you're doing 13. Third day, you're doing 11. Fourth day, you're doing 9. And at the end of the week, you're like, wow, I've missed 10 contacts, right? And that's totally normal. So what I've done in the past is, just like you said, every day if I miss one contact, if I'm not my word of 30 contacts by noon, then I pay my accountability partner $100 per day.
Per day.
Started that since 2013. So now, and I appreciate you saying superhuman. It wasn't. It was very human in the beginning, but massive accountability structures that has something on the line can get you to that habit. So now I don't really need that. All I need is myself, and I focus on what really drives me forward, and I know my numbers. So I know that, hey, if I talk to 89 people, I will get a listing, right? Those are my real estate numbers, right? So then that drives me forward. Okay, well, I just need to talk to 89 more people to get a listing, right? And so now I actually hold myself accountable through posting on Instagram. If I don't do it one day, people call me out. And that, to me, like, I have this like looking good thing. As you can see, I'm like all dressed up and I'm still at home. But so that is one of my drivers, is away from pain, right? So for the crowd that's listening, like, what really drives you? Is it the reward at the end of the tunnel, or is it the pain that you're trying to get away from? You really have to like recognize that.
Yeah. I hope you guys are catching this, and I'm going to rewatch this myself too, so I hope everyone else does as well, because this is gold on this call today. What I found is that it's probably a crazy number, like 99% of people are primarily driven away from pain versus towards pleasure. I mean, I've had a couple accountability partners that said they're driven by pleasure, and I think I might have believed one of them based on their actions. Like, people, and think of this for your own self watching this, like, are you more driven to wake up and just hustle, or are you more driven when maybe you're behind on your bills and you're looking at like, wow, I can't maybe afford my mortgage next month? Like, when do you work harder? And a comfort level sets in too. We have this financial thermostat where if you make that $50,000 a year that you're used to, well, then you just take your foot off the gas. But if you have something that's paying, which for you is that $100 on a daily basis driving you, you build this habit. And like you said, eventually you don't need that. And I think people need it initially because they don't have that habit formed yet and they don't have the results. Now, hey, if I call 16 and a half agents, I'm going to sponsor one. Like that, it's not hard to keep that habit going when you have results, because now it's exciting. It's like, who else can I help? It's cool to see how you transferred your skill set that you developed while selling real estate over to agent attraction.
And AJ, so glad that you brought that up. I want to expand on that just a little bit, because people don't receive results. People give up prematurely. Like, I've done this for the last 30 days. I've done this for the last even 60 days. From 2008 September to 2009 March, I didn't do one transaction, but I kept prospecting. And I hadn't done any deals from prospecting, but I just believed with blind faith that it's all going to work out. Right. And I had nowhere else to go. I just had nowhere else to go. If I was going to quit being a realtor, it wasn't going to work for me, because I had a degree that allowed me to earn $30,000 a year, and I was $80,000 in debt. Guess what? I had to just get back on the phones and made it work and prospected until it actually worked. So in the last 9 months of 2009, because I did all that prospecting 7 days a week, that I did 33 transactions in 9 months from 2009 March to the end of the year. So it worked out. But people, during those 6 months, are so scared they'll give up.
Yeah.
But I couldn't. I had something at stake. So for people watching, what do you have at stake? Right? What do you really want? Right? So that's why I got it.
I love that, man. It gives me goosebumps. I hear myself in your story, same exact thing, back against the wall and no degree to qualify me to do anything. And during that time, because I know a lot of people, when they hear those stories, from bottom to the top, some people are just like, well, life's pretty good right now. How do you have that blind faith when life's already good, you're comfortable, so you don't need to do it? Most people who join eXp are great agents. They have a six-figure income. They don't need agent attraction. They want it, but they don't need it. It's easier to take the rejection when you need it. Going back to 2009, you said you had blind faith. Did you have a coach at that time? Did you have other people around you that were accountability partners already? Or was it really just you and just your blind faith?
Yeah, so that's 2009 September was when I signed up for Mike Ferry coaching. And back then it was $1,000 a month US, so it was $1,400 a month in Canadian. And I was already, get this, $80,000 in debt. Remember that, right? Yeah. So I really had something at stake. And the coach kept moving me forward, right? And I was just scared to death. I mean, and then I was $60,000 in debt, and then I got engaged at the end of 2008. I borrowed $20,000 to buy a ring for my bride.
Nice ring.
Yeah. And so again, it's whatever's at stake. Sorry, what was your question?
Yeah, no, I love that. Well, you were just sharing how committed you were. And that's what's cool. Like I had a feeling that you had a coach during that time, that you had people around you, because it's easier to have blind faith when you're surrounding yourself with people who are already achieving the results. If you were just, stuck in your apartment all day long trying to make these prospecting calls and you don't know anybody who had success, you don't have someone feeding into your life, telling you that, hey man, keep going. You don't have friends who are also on that same journey with you. It's harder to have blind faith. And I just want to point that out, is because we have this group inside of eXp that everyone's on the live stream right now. They're part of that group. They have people who all want this too. Like, reach out, get accountability partners, hire a coach if you think that's what you need. Same story as you, except it was 2013. I showed up to my first Mike Ferry event with holes in my shoes and hired a coach there. Went there on a credit card. I was paycheck to paycheck in debt. Like, when you have a dream and a desire, you have to go all in. You can't be lukewarm. You just got to go all in, on fire, burn the ships. And that's how you reach these, the highest success pinnacles is when you go all in with no other options. So man, that's such a cool story. I love you sharing that. If you guys got questions, put them in. I got one question from Allison Long that I wanted to elaborate on a little bit. She said she'd love a workflow example. So you said 2 a day. Are you scheduling this in right after your other prospecting calls?
Correct. Yeah. Right now, I still make 40 contacts for real estate, and I got to tell you, my day is still 95% real estate production driven. And it would be afternoon that I talk to the 2 agents per day, and it has to be after I'm done my 40 contacts for real estate.
So he said 40 contacts for real estate, guys. That's 40. So that takes how long to do that?
3 to 4 hours. So if I start at 8 o'clock in the morning, then I'll finish at noon. Sometimes I don't, then I'll go and keep prospecting until I hit my contacts. The goal is to set 2 listing appointments per day. And then after I'm done that, then I can get to the fun stuff and talk to a couple of agents. It's only 2. It's only 2.
Yeah. How long does that take?
Oh, geez. Sometimes it can be very quick. It's, on average, probably 2 to 3 minutes. And sometimes it could be really, really quick. Like, oh, man, is that what you wanted to talk about? Yeah, I'm good. I'm good, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's okay, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's okay if they say, man, I've already heard about eXp a million times. Because one thing we know for sure is if you have big dreams, then you have to go after those dreams at all costs. And there's people out there going to bed praying for an opportunity like this every night. And if we're not out there sharing eXp with agents who are stuck on this hamster wheel, not seeing their family because all they're doing is showing houses on the weekends, on appointments in the evenings, if they're lucky, if they're not doing that, they're broke, that they need something like this. So it's up to us to share it. So 2 to 3 minutes a day to do your outbound prospecting over the last 16 months. Of course, there's follow-up. There's, getting on a call, answering questions. So how many hours a week have you spent on this, would you say, consistently?
On the eXp agent attraction.
Yeah, like everything agent attraction a week. Your lunch and learn, your Zoom call.
It's got to be at least 2 hours per day that I'm putting into agent attraction, because that also includes coaching my group.
Yep.
That also includes supporting my group. It includes 3-way calls with my group, right? So It's not just the 2 agents that I talk to per day, which probably could take me less than half an hour.
Yep.
It's the follow-up work on that. So it's 2 hours. And then the rest of the time I'm still doing just real estate. But you got to really be really good at time blocking, right? So I'm going to get my priorities done. Is I got to do my 40 absolutely no matter what. I'm going to get that done. And then I get to do the fun stuff.
Yep. I love it. So 10 hours a week, built an organization over 200 agents in 16 months. And what that's going to turn into over the next couple of years, like it's already a 6-figure a year income, guys. It's going to turn into multiple 6 figures and no income, guarantees. Maybe it'll be 0 tomorrow. We don't know, but it's a possibility it could turn into a 7-figure income. And we're talking about 10 hours a week. Just some encouragement for you, John, and for everyone listening. I had 200 agents in my organization February of 2018. Fast forward just a little over 2 years later, I have 1,854. Wow. So that's you, my man. That's you in a couple of years. So that's exciting. I can't wait for you to. I can't wait for you to be there, man. It's all the hard work's paying off, because I know having your daughter's what, just over a year?
Year and a half old, yeah.
Year and a half. So you got a year. So during this time, he had a newborn baby girl. He's making 40 contacts a day for his real estate business while building his passive income source through RevShare. I just love it, man. We have one more question. We'll wrap it up here. Kayla Lindsay, she's a rock star. She's prospecting every day just like you are. She's one of my personally sponsored agents. She says, are all those cold calls for that 40 to your database and sphere, or are there cold calls in there too?
Okay, great. So right now I'm looking at my sheet. Yesterday I connected with 30 of my past clients, and then I did 3 expireds. We don't have a lot here. And then I actually called out to 5 agents from all over North America, asking them how they're doing and if they have any people that are looking to buy and sell in Vancouver. I'd be happy to be their resource. And 2 KV4 contacts.
Nice. Awesome. Thanks for the breakdown. Awesome. And then one more question from Sarah. Are the 2 people you are reaching out to pre-scheduled? What is your conversion rate to get the appointments? Is that, and then the see more, but is that mostly done by your VA understanding your appointment sign? So the 2 people that you're counting as contacts, is that pre-scheduled?
For LinkedIn, it is. So in the afternoon, I have 2 calls today to make to agents. For Instagram, it's just like when I feel there's an opportunity to present the eXp opportunity, then I would just message them and say, hey, has anybody else talked to you about it yet? And then eventually we'll get on a call that way. But Instagram, I don't have a VA doing it. LinkedIn, I do.
Cool. And then how many people do you have to talk to, would you say, to actually get an appointment where you're showing them the eXp opportunity, or they're hopping on your weekly Zoom call, or you're sending them a video to watch?
I would say send a video is easy. I'd probably send the video no matter what they say.
Okay.
I'm not interested right now. No problem. It's an opportunity to look at a new way to do business. Would you be open to me sending you a quick video so you can keep it on file for the future? I know you're doing great right now. If anything changes, let me know. Fair enough. And I send the video.
Love it.
Yeah.
Cool. And then last question, what % of your level 1s who signed up would you say came like within the first couple of weeks of contacting them versus a long-term follow-up, say a month or more? So what % signs up right away, and what % can you contribute to lead follow-up?
Oh my goodness. It's funny. It's called agent attraction. So I do have to reach out, but none of them actually sign up right away.
Yeah.
Right. And you got to keep loving on them. They'll come back to you. It comes back around. When you put up positive energy, it just comes back around.
Yep.
And I have a couple of agents that simply said, hey, John, I like what you're doing. I'm going to join.
Yep.
Right. There's going to be that too.
I love that. And that's a great point you made. And I never really even thought of it that way. It's, it is agent attraction, but you have to let people know who you are before they can be attracted to you.
Right.
So make that initial contact. Hey, my name's AJ. Then through your actions, through inviting them to free trainings, through being positive on your Instagram and your Facebook, that's where the attraction part comes in.
Correct.
That's cool. I love that. Awesome, man. Well, thank you so much for your time. If there's anything that I can do to help you, please let me know. This has been a lot of fun, and I know the group here has gotten tons of value. So thank you so much, man. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me today, and hope it was value to all.
Yeah, it was awesome. Stay safe out there, man.
All right. You too.
All right. See ya.